Ever wondered about the role of HR planning in healthcare? It's more crucial than you might think. Let's dive right into it. Imagine you're in the planning stage of opening a healthcare facility. You've identified the services you want to provide, and each of these services requires a functional approach. This means you need to have workflows in place for your service providers, as well as patient-aligned care. Now, this poses a challenging need for human resources. Take, for instance, the casualty and emergency department. The number and type of staff you need depend on the level of service you're planning to provide. You'll need medical professionals, support staff, administrative staff, and auxiliary staff. And the number of these staff members will vary depending on whether you're running a 24-hour operation, a daycare clinic, or a facility that provides surgical or clinical services, or inpatient care. But it doesn't stop there. Once you've determined the number of staff needed and the criteria of operations, you need to figure out how many people in the market need your service. This market survey will help you plan your workflow and infrastructural needs. Now you might be thinking, that's a lot to consider. And you'd be right, but that's exactly why HR planning is so vital. It's the backbone of any healthcare facility. Without it, you wouldn't know how many staff members to hire, what roles they'd fill, or how they'd meet the needs of your patients. And let's not forget about the importance of quality. In healthcare, quality human resources aren't just a nice to have, they're a must-have. The right staff members can make all the difference in patient care. So as you can see, HR planning lays the groundwork for a smoothly operating healthcare facility. It's a complex process, but one that's absolutely necessary for success in the healthcare industry. Stay tuned to learn more about the process of HR planning in the next scene. Now that we understand the importance of HR planning, let's delve into the process of HR planning in healthcare. First and foremost, HR planning starts with a deep understanding of the healthcare facility's services, workflows, and operational needs. This is where we identify staffing needs based on service levels. For instance, in the casualty and emergency department, depending on the level of service, we might need medical professionals, support staff, administrative staff, and auxiliary staff. The number of staff required will depend on criteria like whether the facility operates around the clock, or if it's a daycare clinic, surgical center, clinical or inpatient. Once we have a clear picture of the staffing requirements, we move on to the market survey. This step involves estimating the number of people who need the service. We're not just looking at the number of patients here, we're also considering the number of healthcare professionals available in the market. This survey helps us to understand the supply and demand dynamics, which is crucial in determining a realistic HR plan. The next stage is workflow planning. Workflow planning involves mapping out the processes and tasks that each staff member will undertake. This step is crucial in ensuring that staff members are allocated tasks according to their skills and competencies, and that the workload is evenly distributed. Next comes infrastructural planning. This involves determining the physical space and resources required for the staff to carry out their tasks effectively. This includes things like office space, equipment, and technology. The final step in the HR planning process is implementation and monitoring. This is where the HR plan is put into action. HR planning doesn't end with implementation though. It's a continuous process that needs to be monitored and adjusted as circumstances change. Whether it's changes in the healthcare landscape, technological advancements, or changes in staffing needs, the HR plan must be flexible enough to adapt. HR planning is a dynamic, ongoing process that ensures the healthcare facility is adequately staffed at all times. Now, let's consider the impact of effective HR planning in healthcare. Establishing a strong human resources foundation is essential for delivering top-tier medical services. Through meticulous HR planning, healthcare facilities can improve service delivery, leading to increased patient satisfaction. It can streamline operations, ensuring that the right professional is in the right place at the right time. Moreover, HR planning helps mitigate potential staffing issues, such as shortages or skill mismatches. It ensures that healthcare facilities have a robust and diverse team of professionals who can cope with the dynamic needs of patients. However, this process is not without its challenges. Healthcare facilities may face difficulties in recruitment, retention, and maintaining staff morale, but these issues can be effectively managed with careful planning and strategic HR policies. In conclusion, effective HR planning is a critical component in healthcare, ensuring efficient operations and high-quality patient care.
The mission of Velocity Project Management Limited is to be knowledge partners by providing project management consulting services along with training services. Our vision is to be the leading institution for project management and management consulting services in East and Central Africa within healthcare. 1. Business planning. In planning, we start from the conception/idea of opening a health facility for our client by advising to do the right sizing of the facility, placement of the facility, and business guidance is provided too. 2. Infrastructure development involves engineering services, procurement management, tender management, project management, guidance on negotiation. 3. Equipment design and supply. Medical and non-medical equipment and maintenance are equally important to run a hospital, which needs planning from the beginning of conception. Proper contract management with all suppliers for spares and training of all HR involved. 4. Operations, management, training. Running of the hospital and handholding is taken care of by providing the right HR, business process mapping, HIMS, standard operating procedures, and defining various policies.